Daniel Larson is one of the most interesting internet case studies, coming closely second after Chris Chan. Never in my life have I witnessed such a strange character development story ever. Now, I've watched Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad, Ozark. Never seen someone develop a character quite as strong and quite as disturbing as Daniel Larson. I have either titled this video the Daniel Larson story or the Daniel Larson iceberg. I've been working on this video for weeks, so the outcome of the title may change. However, the contents of which will not. We will be looking over the timeline of Daniel Larson and just so many things that he's been up to over the last 3 years. Now, our story begins at Daniel Larson, age 14. This is the earliest we can see Daniel in life.
The Tennyson Center for Children has become one of the Rocky Mountain region's leading treatment centers for emotionally and crisis-affected children, particularly those suffering from abuse and neglect.
Good boy.
When I first came here, I actually was really nervous.
That's 14-year-old Danny, who came from an extremely neglectful home. When his grandmother got word of Danny's situation, she moved here from California to be his guardian,
Wonderful.
so he wouldn't end up in a foster home. Danny still lived at the center for a year and a half, but now lives with his grandma, continuing to go to school at Tennyson and receive treatment.
When he came to Tennyson almost 3 years ago, he was very angry and confused and feeling very uncertain about his life and where he belonged and what was going to happen.
This gives a really real deep backstory to Daniel Larson and who he really is. After his parents had abandoned him and mistreated him, Daniel's grandmother decided to take care of him and take him under her wing. Sadly, she passed away in late June of 2019.
I want a storm chase when I get older. Hopefully I'll be on the news one day.
As Danny says goodbye, he has this to say to the people at the Tennyson Center.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being here. And it did a lot to help me. I made lots of friends. I learned how to do stuff I never knew how to do before. And it's much better now. Thank you.
Today I'm proud to introduce you to the channel's first sponsor, Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN can hide and encrypt your personal information and your location to keep you safe while you're browsing on the internet. With Atlas VPN, you can also unlock content that you actually might not have access to due to your geographical region. For example, you right now might not be able to watch Peaky Blinders or The Crown on Netflix. Well, if you choose to use the VPN from the UK on Atlas VPN, it immediately unlocks this content for you. Simple as that. It also has the added benefit of unlocking and protecting an unlimited amount of devices per subscription. And when I say keeping you safe, I mean keeping you safe from malicious links, ads, and trackers. This is also the best VPN deal on the market, with a 3-year plan only costing $1.99 a month. Yeah, if you're someone who's used a VPN for a long time, or if you're someone that's just wanting to get a VPN now, or maybe you're starting to think about it now that I've started talking about it, definitely check out Atlas VPN, the link in the description below, because not only is that a great deal, there are also various other deals and packages that you can choose from. And if you do decide to try it out, there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, you can send it back, but you're gonna love it. Okay? You're gonna love it. Another way that Atlas VPN saves you money is not just from the subscription price. They can actually show you prices that aren't region-based. For example, if you're trying to book a hotel in a various other country, they might show you the price of the hotel being way more than what it would be if you bought it from another country. See, buying things and booking things online, a lot of the time the prices are actually made by the online vendor depending on where you are geographically. Let's say you're trying to book a holiday. You can say you're from that country and you're just booking a holiday there, and you might actually find yourself saving hundreds of dollars. So if you don't believe me, check it out for yourself. If you don't find it to be as good as I'm selling it to you right now, then you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's a win-win. There's nothing to lose here. Check out the link in the description and try it out for yourselves. The Daniel Larson story really kicks off in 2020, where he's left to his own devices and creates his own TikTok account. In July of this year, he announces he will be running for president.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson. I am planning on running for president in the future. If you think that that's a good idea, please click the thumbs up, give me a like, give me a follow, and give me a comment. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
A few months later, he reaches 1 million views on TikTok. At this time, he becomes a bit of an underground meme in which you see him appear in a Zoom meeting.
I do have a girlfriend, but the fact that we're in 2 different States.
Yo, what's up, Daniel? I want to know who your idol is. Who do you idolize the most?
Believe it or not, I actually have a couple idols. Probably be Luke Bryan. And if we are talking pop, it would probably be Bruno Mars. And out of the females, probably Kelsey Ballerini, Taylor Swift, and Grace Vanderwall.
So, it's kind of interesting. That's a very good point. In my opinion, if underage can actually do.
And a subreddit under his own name is created. All of this mass attention, whether it's good or bad, didn't matter to Daniel, as he is someone who genuinely cannot process the real difference between the two, unless either are at the extreme. He releases a rap record under the label Roach Records called Fake News. The year of 2020 ends with Daniel Larson's Pinterest account being leaked. This then just sends shockwaves as people discover who Daniel Larson may truly really be, and just a glimpse into the dark and devious activities this man may or may not get up to in his spare time. His record label went live on Instagram to confront Daniel and Zoom about his YouTube channel that re-uploads videos of young girls, and his Pinterest account, which is where he has an interest in young girls. To keep it short, he ends up just sending them in circles and lying to them about how his accounts were hacked and it just wasn't him. However, it seems only his TikTok has ever been hacked and there's no evidence of any other account being hacked. However, it may not portray itself to be as simple as it may be. Enter Flexburger. Daniel Larson's first manager had the ability to use Daniel's social media accounts and could have created these Pinterest albums and creepy titles and then recorded them and leaking them himself. This manager being Flexburger. These are what muddies the water with these allegations towards Daniel, as he is a person with a mental illness, and this may hinder his ability to actually clearly see right from wrong. This makes him way more susceptible to this crime of being hacked and then having his profiles completely defaced and made to look like he's a criminal. Then in 2021, Daniel creates a video on TikTok that I just don't think anybody saw coming. He records himself wishing he would love to collaborate with EDP445.
Hello, this is Daniel Larson. I just wanted to shout out the YouTuber EDP445. I am sorry for the allegations against you. I am sorry. We are in this together. I have been there too. I hope we could possibly collaborate in the future. Please stay tuned for my upcoming events. If you need anything, feel free to message. I hope everything gets better. Thank you. Have a great rest of your week.
If you don't know who EDP445 is, there's a card on screen in this corner here. I have made a video on EDP445. Give it a quick watch if you do not know who he is. As more and more allegations seem to surface regarding Daniel Larson, we see not only his Pinterest and full screen recordings of his Pinterest being leaked, but Flexburger decides to go all in and essentially post all of this.
Because of what Flexburger posted, we are going on lockdown. Everybody, we are going on lockdown. Stay tuned for what happens next. And Flexburger on YouTube and TikTok, you are a fucking bitch for exposing me. We are calling the Denver Police Department and reporting you. The FBI will be coming to your house.
It's strange to see because Daniel is quite clearly thinking this is kind of a game, but also this game is his life. The views he's had on some of his TikToks are impressive. We all know how a lot of TikTok views are very largely inflated, and some people get like 20 million views on a video and will go completely nameless and unknown because realistically, not many people remember a 7 to 30 second long short video on their phone. Out of the thousands they see a day, they're not particularly likely to remember you. But Daniel Larson's an exception, and I will say that because he has posted so many videos, in fact, that I don't think he could ever leave your For You page on TikTok. I mean, I watched one of his videos once, laughed. A week later, my entire For You page was just Daniel Larson. I had no idea who he was. And now I'm really glad that I'm telling you the full story, because there is such a dark world that we're going to slip into. I just want you to brace yourselves. What Flexburger had done, essentially, was bait Daniel into believing that he was talking with a minor. There's more evidence from around the internet, and from multiple different points in time, of Daniel very openly expressing that he likes those who are underage. And when I say that, I think you know what I mean. We now move on to May 6th. This day is known as the May 6th incident. This is one of those points in Daniel's timeline that will stick out the most. It will have the most impact on the rest of his story, and it begins to snowball, in which is his horrific story, and his troubling issues only seem to get worse from here on out. Daniel posted a TikTok in which he announces he's going to get into adult film. Later that day, he went live on TikTok. He instantly just begins exposing himself in front of 500 onlookers. He is swiftly banned. It seems he then posted a picture of himself completely nude on his YouTube community page. This is luckily deleted and never seen again. 6 hours later though, Daniel makes a new account, explains that he was hacked, and just gets on with it. Plain and simple.
This is my new account. Please follow this new account. This is my new account. Once again, this is my new account. Please follow.
Yet just a day or so after, Daniel decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go live again on TikTok, expose myself, get banned, and then upload the entire live stream to his YouTube channel, which then also gets deleted. Fast forward to July, with Daniel's release of Roaring Thunder. I thought I'd play Roaring Thunder while I read you some other things that Daniel Larson got up to in that time, as little bullet points from the Daniel Larson wiki. Daniel had admitted a lot in this month of July. The list includes: Daniel admits to being a and sending a deck pic to Grace Vanderwall. Daniel makes a rest in peace video to Grace, assuming that she had passed away. Daniel promises to carry on Grace Vanderwall's career and legacy if she dies. Daniel's then admitted to hospital after an altercation, and merely weeks later posts a revealing shirtless video of him playing with his chest while moaning the names Darcy and Grace. 2022 rolls in, however, and it just is not going to be looking good for Daniel Larson, I'm afraid. The snowball will only get bigger as it rolls down this hill that is Daniel Larson. In April, he uploads a video of him crying in a bathroom stall. He then posts a video of himself apologizing to Grace for pleasuring himself to her. Daniel then posts a video of himself punching himself in the genitals. Then in March, he declares no more Mr. Nice Guy, and that all the hate will now go down the drain. He then uploads a video of himself humping the camera while moaning the name, you guessed it, Grace. Daniel then comes out as bisexual on TikTok Live, and that's how March ends for Daniel. That's some of the most notable things that happened in 2022. So, we're up to March. In June, though, things are getting really busy for Daniel. He begins a series of really bizarre bathroom content, in which he's seen shirtless in a public bathroom. It's later revealed and discovered that Daniel, in fact, was in these bathroom stalls taking nude photographs of himself. And there's also videos of him playing with himself in these bathroom stalls. He then began feeling like he was needed to be a bit more public. So he featured on a few more TikTok live streams in which, at one point, he asked an 18 to 25-year-old out for a one-night stand. Throughout June, Daniel begins throwing out accusations that a man known as Andrew, who was Daniel's case manager, he was actually assigned a case manager by the government of Colorado. For those who are wondering what this may be for, let me enlighten you. Daniel is a criminal and likes to get up to criminal activities. He was charged in August 2021 for the destruction of property. He was then charged for petty theft in 2022, which appears to be on a Hard Rock cafe, which seems to add up as he's actually notoriously known for dining and dashing. Daniel's case manager had had enough with Daniel's consistent abuse, accusations, and malice that he resigned as his manager in the first week of July 2022. Daniel had gone live a week prior, screaming and shouting and hitting himself, saying that he needs to find his manager, Andrew, and kill him. Then I'd like to focus on something that I find very troubling and disturbing. The young woman that he keeps naming Grace is a child, or at least was a child when he was talking about her originally and how he was so infatuated with her. Her mother actually got in contact with Daniel after he was obviously harassing her on Facebook Messenger, and this is what she said to him. So he starts it with, I'm sure a lot more messages prior, but he says, please message me as soon as you can. Her mother responds with, stop saying my daughter's name. Stop saying you're in a relationship with her. You are scaring her and our family. Everything you've said and done has been in your mind. You need to access some mental health support and stop harassing my daughter. I have contacted the authorities and will continue to press the issue if you don't stop making disturbing videos. Your followers have harassed my daughter long enough. Stop. In which Daniel responds with, I understand, I'm ending my life tonight. Now, Daniel just responding in the worst way possible is honestly just part and parcel of what Daniel Larson likes to get up to in his spare time. After this, Daniel then announces he is now homeless. This time being way worse than all the times before because now he can't make phone calls or text anybody. Daniel then gets in a few arguments about his housing situation and about how he was actually breaking rules as other people were actually coming out and coming forward who were living with him, saying that he was just breaking housing rules and just basic standard rules that they have in the house.
This is extremely confusing, but I talked with Tiffany and Kelly today, and they both told me that they did find housing for me. There is no move date. They're estimating it could be a couple months, but they did find housing. They're really kind of being jerks about everything. I told them that I don't want to be affiliated if we're not going to get anything actually done. I told them I don't want to be affiliated if we're not going to get stuff done, and they actually got upset at me. Said I wasn't following the rules. But I'm following more rules than them because they're not getting anything done when I am. I think that's crazy.
That's why he's homeless. And when he tries to explain that he no longer has a phone and has to use a $300 tablet, he drops and breaks it again.
I'm going to be honest about something. As far as the phone from earlier today, like I said, I'm currently using a tablet that doesn't have a phone. I basically got angry. I was in a conversation with my mentor, and we were... and now this broke. Fuck. It wasn't even a day of me having it. God damn it. A $300. Oh my god.
Daniel's TikTok is also banned in this time, which he makes a new account called Daniel Larson's Luck. July in 2022 is also extremely busy. I mean, just a few things to note. He admits to taking a first shower in months. He kept breaking expensive equipment of his. He was donated a pair of $400 headphones, which was donated to him through money on Twitch, and then he breaks them literally 3 days later. Daniel then started saying a bunch of slurs on his Twitch stream in August, which obviously got his Twitch banned. He then kept saying things like his Discord's going to cost him $5 a day to run, even though he wasn't running it, a bunch of random kids were. He then got his destruction of property charges dropped in August. However, I think I remember seeing a video of him punching a window of a store, but I couldn't remember that. Anyway, he also uploaded a video this month that he announced he was diagnosed with trench foot. For those of you who don't know what trench foot is, don't Google it. It's just where you get gammy athlete's foot. In September, though, we do start to learn some really interesting things about Daniel, and he updates us on his life a lot. He declares that there's no time for games after seeing his Bitcoin investment. He shows that his entertainment company is bleeding money and they have lost $2,000 in a week. I don't know how true that is, because it turns out, based on his previous finances, DLR Entertainment has gained $51 in life savings. Nice. Daniel then calls for world peace. He also decides to uninvolve himself from the Russian-Ukraine war. He then wants to talk business with Donald Trump. Daniel addresses the nation on the Russian-Ukrainian war and hopes that everyone will make the right decisions.
Okay, I have come to a decision. I am not going to be involved in this particular war crisis. I think peace should be made and it's getting out of control, so I am backing down.
Daniel then states, very based in fact, that Russia needs to be charged with first-degree murder due to the Ukrainian war games.
Russia needs to have first-degree murder charges for the war in Ukraine.
Daniel also refuses to take medication. He declares that he has no warrant out for his arrest. He then states that his entertainment business, DLR, has $110 in his balance. If all these figures are true in which he was talking about, that would mean he has lost $32,600. He seems very unfazed by this, so I imagine he hasn't lost this much money. I hope. Slowly as we move into October, Daniel's account again is banned on TikTok. How they take so long to catch him, I don't know. Then Daniel's brought out to Colorado Springs by a few friends, where he actually gets abandoned at a convenience store after getting into multiple fights. It's typical Daniel. He then declines any help and keeps saying he will not go to a homeless shelter as he is too famous. He then ends up sleeping on the streets and in an elevator shaft. October ends in that way for him, sadly, as he is still homeless. In November, Daniel goes live and is in the hospital. He claims he could not feel his legs. The doctor had hypothesized it was nerve damage due to hypothermia. Daniel then almost gets into a homeless shelter, which many are very happy about, because obviously no one wants anybody to be homeless and on the streets, especially if they do have income. But he decides not to and leaks the address of the shelter. Daniel then goes live, claiming that he had been shot at or assassinated, which is very strange. Just very random to go live on TikTok. Like, guys have been shot at and assassinated. I mean, the fact that he thinks he could be the president of the United States is already crazy enough as it is. So it's not that crazy to think that he thinks he's also been assassinated. He ends 2022 in fantastic fashion after saying that he's going to be he's going to play Homelander and The Boys. He finally gets a job in the end of December, which is very nice. Don't know how he managed that one, but he did anyway. This is where most people have heard of Daniel Larson, 2023. The start of this year, we are only a month in, and Daniel Larson has already gotten up to so much, it's insane. After hitting multiple goals of like 7,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, which is pretty impressive for someone like Daniel, he made a brand new YouTube channel as well. Daniel went live on the 16th of January, and at the request of Grace herself, and he confessed to being a pedophile. The next day, 2 fans, for some reason, got Daniel into Disneyland. And this is where he went mega viral. Daniel had been videoed of himself scratching himself senselessly all the way around the park and seemed like creeping around, like just sat really strangely in Disneyland. I mean, I can't feel bad for the guy. I understand he's like very much struggling, but at the same time, it is a very difficult scenario because he is so disgusting when it comes to talking about children and hypersexualizing children, and the way he talks about children and in what context he talks about children, it's just not right. And a lot of people were assuming that he may or may not have scabies, and I mean, he kept saying he had uncontrollable itchy skin and couldn't stop scratching scabs on his skin, and then he was confirmed to have scabies, and he was walking around Disneyland scratching himself around young children and families where multiple people had called the police on him. So that's cool. Anyway, he posted a TikTok of him in the hospital, getting the necessary medication for his scabies, and then a day later, literally a day later, he's arrested for attempting to dine and dash at the Cheesecake Factory. He just doesn't stop. He literally does not stop. And that's the timeline pretty much of him. He goes into a few things about Sandy Hook and Alex Jones, but I implore you to go check out the Daniel Larson wiki. There's so much to look into. There's so many links to all the evidence and all these stories. There are multiple parts of different interviews of his. And it's crazy. Who's very obviously a very manipulated young man. And it's sad because he may not have slipped so far down into this rabbit hole if people online weren't so evil. But sadly, he isn't just a failed member of society now because he has chosen to continue to go down this path. Whether you can call it that much of a conscious choice or not, I argue it's pretty damn conscious, as he continuously says things like, he's in love with this Grace girl and that he thinks that children should be able to make decisions that they want to make. And I'm not going to go into details of what he thinks about that stuff because I don't want to. Mainly because of the fact that this is YouTube and I don't think it's the place to be talking about it. And I think this Larsonology shall end here. I thought this video would be way longer than it ended up being. I felt like just going over a brief timeline history of Daniel and showing you a lot of who he really is. The fact that he is as disgusting of a man as he is incredible and a feat for humanity, I must say. But I think there are lessons for lots of people here to learn. As much of a horrible man he is, at the same time, a lot of his actions were caused by people thinking they were funny by egging him on and causing him to cause more damage to not just himself, but others around him. It's just sad to see. I just think these people should also see a lot of the same punishment that Daniel will be receiving. Obviously, a lot of the dining and dashing and destruction to public property is all him. And him saying that he's what he is also all him. But the fact that so many people have tried to just like get that out of him, or at least try and coerce him into saying that he is and enjoying it and thinking that it's okay. The fact he thinks he's really famous as well and no one's really telling him you're not famous, and at least not getting into his head, is also a shame. But he's one of those sort of too far gone stories. And I thought I'd share it with you all because it's, if you saw my Paul Breach video, you'll know that, you know, at the age of 40, it doesn't stop. These things continue, these horrible habits, these dark, weird, twisted habits these people have don't stop. They keep going till they are in their 40s. And Daniel Larson is only in his 20s, so he's... And Daniel Larson is still young, a lot younger than Paul Breach. If you haven't seen that video, that is also in the description. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoy these style of videos, please press the like button and comment down below. Any stories you have on Daniel, anything you thought I missed, anything people should know, comment down below. I'll love heart any ones that are accurate, and I'll check them and source them, and I'll pin some of them as well. Or I'll love heart them, which is basically pinning them. So yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Take care. Stay safe out there, yeah?